Battalion 1 and Battalion 3. Multiple dwelling fire. 2331 Sheldon Street. Cross streets are North 23rd Street and North 25th Street. On tap channel 4. Timeout 1854.
Wow. It's just a few blocks away. What? Poor kids.
Good evening. This is Kilo Oscar 4, Kilo Alpha Delta with the Metro Richmond ARES Net for Thursday, February 20th, 2025. Your net control station this evening again is Kilo Oscar 4, Kilo Alpha Delta, and my name is Randy. If at any time during this net you should need to relay emergency traffic, please use the word break, and the net will yield for your traffic and assist you in any way that we can. Metro Richmond ARES is part of the ARRL and the Virginia Section ARES program. This net meets weekly on Thursdays at 1900 on this, the 145-430 repeater.
Timeout 1859.
The purpose of this net is for training and announcements for the amateur radio community with an emphasis on emergency communications. We ask that all participating stations follow standard net procedures that would be used during an active emergency net. are within range of this repeater, regardless of location or affiliation, but with proper license class, are invited and encouraged to participate in this net. This is Kilo Oscar 4, Kilo Alpha Delta, again with the Metro Richmond ARES Net. Some general housekeeping before we get started with check-ins. This is a directed net, which means stations must be acknowledged by the net control operator before proceeding with your comments or discussion. One feature of this net is the discussion of the day. The discussion of the day is intended to be a way to learn more about amateur radio, emergency preparedness, and general safety. So we hope everyone will participate.
Snow levels.
The topic this week, I'm going to expand a little bit from what Scott did last week with the simplex. I want to know if you have a station that is capable of doing HF communications, if you would be interested in the future in possibly participating in HF nets. I've heard some other ARES nets trying to go in that direction, and I think it would be a good idea for us to do it as well, at least try it out. And then the other thing is I wanted to familiarize everyone with a new bill, HR 1094, that is up with Congress right now in regards to antennas and HOAs.
511 Bay Street. Engine 23. Person bound. 511
As most of us know, if you're an HOA, it's pretty troublesome dealing with them to try to get an antenna up. I know this bill has come up with the Congress before, never really been taken seriously, but seems, the reporting I'm seeing, they're pretty serious about putting it into effect. So just curious your thoughts on it. All right, when checking in, I only need your call sign phonetically with the proper ITU alphabet and your first name. I'll get your location and a received signal report when I call back for comments. I'll be taking check-ins in two groups, mobile and portable stations first, and then all other stations. If you're ARES, Skywarn, or MCOM official, please identify yourself as such. Let's get started with check-ins. So again, let's take mobile and portable stations first. Any mobile or portable stations wishing to call in, please call in with your call sign and your first name only. This is Kilo Oscar 4, Uniform Oscar Romeo, Scott. This is
Correction, Kilo Delta 6, Foxtrot, Mike, Ron, nobody else can remember.
This is Kilo Oscar 4, Charlie Papa Echo, Sean. the rest.
Second Poland with entry MJG, I believe, that Kilo Quebec 4 Romeo Alpha Alpha.
This is KO4KAD. Yeah, okay, thank you for that, Mike. KQ4 Romeo Alpha Alpha, is that correct? Alright, with nothing heard, we'll come back to him. So let me tell you what I've got so far. I got KO4UOR Scott, who's quick on the trigger tonight. I got K6 Fox Mike. I got KO4 Charlie Papa Echo. And we're gonna go with, for now, KQ4 Romeo Alpha Alpha. Any other mobile or portable stations wishing to check in?
November 4, Hotel Oscar Kilo Mobile.
Alright, Net Control recognizes November for Hotel Oscar Kilo. Good to hear you. Please, since you're mobile, let me go ahead and pick you up first and get your comments for the net, and thank you for checking in.
KO4KAD, and I don't know if you had a program tonight or whatever, or specific topics of discussion, but I just got in the car at a late work meeting, so I'm just looking around 295 headed home. So not much to report other than it is extremely cold and windy outside.
Yeah, roger that. It definitely has been cold today. Yeah, Lee, kind of was going to kick around the possibility of doing an HF net from time to time, so if you wanted to comment on that. And then also the new bill that is in Congress, I think this time it's got some teeth to it, to stop the HOA restrictions on ham radio antennas. If you'd like to make some comments, please go ahead.
Well, I'm certainly all in favor of the reauthorization of that bill in the House and the Senate, and as soon as I get a chance, I'll be sending a letter to my congressman and my House of Representatives members. Hopefully they will support that bill, because I live in HOA, but I'm fortunate enough that sneaky enough that I've been able to do what I do with my antennas. And yeah, I know the Fountain Group's been talking about an HF net as well, so I'll try to check into this net or listen periodically and when I can, and if possible, I'll try to participate into that. I know it's been tough for a while for me with work and other things going on, but glad I was able to get in here tonight.
N4HOK, KO4KAD. Yeah, thank you, Lee. Appreciate your comments. Thank you for checking in. You run a good net on Mondays, and we always list that when we close this net as another one for people to check in. So thanks for all you do, and we'll say 73. All right, let's see. This is KO4KAD with the Metro Richmond ARES Net. I'll now begin taking check-ins from all other stations. Excuse me, if you'd like to check into the Metro Richmond ARES Net, please call now and use your call sign and your first name only.
Somebody's off frequency.
This is W4SCL, Scott.
Wow, where have you been?
This is Kilo Bravo 2, Oscar Yankee India, Rob. This is Kilo 4, Oscar Whiskey Uniform, Mike. This is Whiskey 4, Romeo Tango Hotel, bye. This is Kilo Quebec 4, Romeo Alpha Mike Will. This is Whiskey 3, India Alpha Oscar Jason. Kilo Quebec 4, Romeo Alpha Alpha. Once again, this is Kilo 4, Romeo Alpha Alpha. Okay, net hold. A little bit of a double in there. The KQ4 Romeo Alpha Alpha. I heard you underneath of another station, but you were definitely readable that time. What is your first name?
Don't give up.
This is Kilo 4, Romeo Alpha Alpha, K4RAA. Are you referring to me?
Good job.
Roger that. Yep, I've got you now. The call sign is corrected. Kilo 4, Romeo Alpha Alpha. Just need your first name and thanks for checking in.
Roger that, Randy. The name is Dean. David Echo Alpha November, Delta Echo Alpha November. Back to net.
Perfect.
All right, Dean, thank you. We'll be back to you in a few for your comments. I also had a Whiskey 3 India Alpha Oscar Jason. Is that the correct call?
Roger.
All right, thank you for confirming that. All right, let's get started with some comments at the bottom of the hour and see if there's anybody else that wants to check in. So, once again, the topic, kind of two topics really. The new bill with that's in Congress right now, I believe it is HR 1094, proposing to stop homeowners associations, the dreaded HOAs, from stopping amateur radio operators having antennas on their private property. What's your feelings on that? Sounds like we all need to reach out to our reps, as long as you agree with it. And then the other topic is, do you have the capabilities to reach out, and would you be interested in a localized HF event? So let me turn and go back to the first check-in. Kilo 4 QOR. Name, location, received, signal reporting your comments.
Good evening, Randy and everyone. Kilo Oscar 4, Uniform Oscar Romeo, Scott, Western Henrico is loud and clear. And I'm on a TT because my FT991A is on 40 meters. So anyway, I did try to give a gap in there for Ron, but I'm glad he was in there second. I have HF capability. I would be interested in a net from time to time. Don't know enough about HF to know if a local net is possible. Anyway, the other thing, yeah, hams should not have to avoid HOA communities in order to be able to operate their radios effectively. I would definitely support common sense rules for allowing amateurs to put up antennas on their property. Maybe not the front yard, but the side and back should have minimal restrictions. Anyway, 73 everyone, KO4UOR, back to net control.
Alright, Scott, thank you for checking in tonight. And, in particular, for me anyways, I've experienced ground wave propagation on 20 meters and 40 meters with stations that were really, really close. Obviously, well, you know, I do 6 meters, sideband, 6 meters, localized communications as well. So I think it can be done. I just have to try to put some work in to get it going. Thanks for checking in. Next station, KD6 Fox Mike. Name, location, received signal report, and comments for the net.
Rolling Oscar November, I'm in Western Toronto. I have your loud here as far as HF. I do not have HF capabilities. I'm on a handheld. As far as antennas, I wonder that law would try to pass through. I wonder that would have applied to also individuals living in apartments. Because I live in an apartment, I like to set up at least a 2-meter antenna. And for a side note, I'd like to say it's good to hear November for Hotel Oscar Kilo lead. Haven't heard him in many years. He's one of them who know I'm still on the nets. We went to the handheld with a rubber ducky over.
Yeah, Roger that, Ron. Thank you for checking in. And yeah, if you could get a 2-meter antenna up there at your apartment, you could probably check into Lee's net. He runs every Monday evening on 147270 up in Goochland. Lee's a great guy. Thanks for checking in. That takes us down to Kilo Oscar 4, Charlie Papa Echo. Name, location, received signal report, and your comments for the net.
Sorry.
All right, Dan, thank you for checking in, and thank you for your comments. Good to hear you in there. And, I was talking to another operator earlier today, and a lot of us call this a hobby, and it certainly is in a lot of ways. But he made a very valid point discussing it. He will not use the word hobby. He uses the word
Sesame
service.
Street.
Because it is a radio service, and we
That's
certainly
Channel
have
12.
the capability of providing community. So yeah, of course I agree that HOA should not restrict you at all. Thankfully, I don't live in an HOA. I don't think that I ever would anyways, but you never know. All right, let's go down to our next station, which I believe was N4 HTF. You were kind of getting stepped on, but N4 HTF, are you in there?
Yes, Randy. Good evening, everybody on the net. Randy, you're doing an excellent job. Thanks for running the net. Receiving the repeater at full quieting, and you're full quieting the machine as well. Yes, I'm kind of getting over this respiratory misery that I've had for the past week or so. But I mean, I'm on the mend. So, yeah. So to answer your first question, I do have HF capabilities, and yes, I would like to participate in HF net. I haven't done anything off of 10 meters, so at 6 meters. So it'd be interesting to see how maybe 40 and 20 would work. Ground wave. But I haven't fooled with any of that. As far as the HR 1094 bill, yeah, I'm all for it.
NVIS NVIS.
I kind of think you need to get rid of the HOAs altogether. That's a different topic. So 73's Randy and everybody on that.
N4 HTF, KO4KD. Good to hear you, Doug, and you definitely starting to sound like yourself. Glad you're on the upswing. Thanks for checking in, and I'm kind of with you. I don't think they should exist at all, but that's a whole other topic. And if people like them, that's their business, But, yeah. Thanks again for checking in. We'll move on down. Our next station was W4SCL. I need your name, location, received signal report, and your comments for the net.
Come on, Scott. It's your turn. Aw, don't give up on us now.
W4SCL, KO4KD. Are you in there, Scott?
Come on, Scott.
Stand by just for a second, please.
We're gonna make it out to the patio or the front porch.
This is net control. I'm going to move on to the next caller, and then I will come back to you. So that takes us down to KB2OYI. Think I know who that may be. Name, location, received signal report, and your comments for the net.
Hang in there, Scott. He'll be back.
This is KB2OYI, Rob in Verina. I read you loud and clear. Randy, you're sounding great as always. Thanks for running the net. Doing a fine job. As far as the topics, HF local net, I think it's a great idea. I think it's an underutilized tool for our local radio community. In addition to what has already been mentioned, I've rag chewed on 10 meters. Ground plane with folks who live within a few miles from me, and then a gentleman out in New Kent. So keep that option open. As far as this bill, I feel like I've heard this pop up several times through the years. I don't think it's a matter if any of us support it, because I think that's unanimous. I am skeptical about the level of strength and influence the amateur radio lobby has and has always had. So that's just one man's opinion, but again, I don't think there's anyone out there that would not be open to this. But again, it's, their numbers and power, and I haven't seen it yet, but that's that. Randy, we'll send it back to you. Thanks for the net. KB2OYI, back to the net control operator.
W4SCL, KO4KD. Thank you for checking in, Rob. And yeah, I'm right there with you. I have seen this bill come up before and it didn't go anywhere. However, the article I read today and watched a video on seems like it may have a little more teeth this time, so keep your fingers crossed. Thanks again for checking in, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you. All right, W4SCL. Are you out there? And need your name, location, receipt, signal report, and your comments for the net.
Yeah, Randy, name is Scott here. Whiskey 4 Sierra Charlie Lima. And I had not heard anything. I'm a late check-in. Had not heard anything that you had to have your antennas mounted on the backside of your house now. What's going on with that? If you could comment on that for me, please.
Well, so that part of the topic, there's quite a few homeowners associations out here that will not allow you to have antennas visible outside of your house. So a lot of guys are restricted to, working off HTs, hanging wires in their attic, whatever you may have. So there's a bill out to strip that power from the HOA so that amateur operators can have antennas on their property wherever they may choose.
Not a problem.
Okay, I caught that, Randy. W4. And I used to have antennas mounted all over the side of my house at 6 meters, 10 meters, 440, 2 meters.
But if you're not in an HOA, it's not a problem.
Well, thank you for checking in, Scott, and hopefully you can check in here every week. We're always here at the same time, same repeater. I'm going to move on to the next station. That would be W4RTH, name, location, receipt, signal report, and your comments for the net.
Yeah, good evening, Randy, and everyone on the net. Thank you, Bob. Bravo, and I'm in Central Hanover, and you're loud and clear in Central Hanover. Yes, I do have HF capabilities, and I would like to participate in a local net if there's one started. I do several HF nets now, so yeah, that might be fun and doable. So, and the HOA restrictions, I hope it does pass like everyone else, but we shall see. Anyway, Randy, good fine job. Appreciate it. KO4KD, W4RTH, back with that.
W4RTH, KO4KD. All right, Bob. Thank you for checking in. Appreciate your comments. And, like Rob had said before, there's it'll be fun. He said, contacts on HF locally, and I know I have as well. I think it's underutilized. It would be cool to get something going. I'm looking into it. And, so let's move on down to KQ4RAM. You know the drill. Name, location, receive, signal report, and your comments.
KO4KAD, this is KQ4RAM, Will, Eastern Hanover County. You're coming in loud and clear. Just a couple of comments. As far as homeowners associations go, my wife and I used to live in one 11 years ago now. And we moved
country. Don't miss it at all. Would never live in another HOA community. So I do hope that bill passes. Not only would it maybe increase our numbers and participation in ham radio, but also be better for the community in emergency situations and otherwise. Secondly, I do have HF capabilities, would be 100% in favor of a local net on one of the HF bands. Myself and K4MCD, who lives probably a half mile away from me, we have been able to communicate on all HF frequencies with the exception of 160. My antenna is not capable of that one. But I'm sure that is ground wave propagation. You can comment on that, but that's my guess. But we were able to speak very effectively on all the other HF bands, amateur bands. Anyway, that's my comments for the net. I'll turn it back over to Net Control. This is KQ4RAM. Good evening.
I suppose if everybody runs vertical, it would work very well locally with ground wave.
KQ4RAM, KL4KAD. Thank you for those comments, Will. And good to know that you have tested that out on pretty much all the HF bands. And yeah, it works out. It really does. It's ground wave for sure. And I was really surprised the first time that somebody actually caught me on a POTA activation that I never would have expected to hear. And after that, I've been experimenting with it a little bit. And I think we could get something going and looking forward to the future. Thanks for checking in. And let's see. That takes us down to Whiskey 3, India Alpha Oscar. Jason, your comments, sir. Name, location, and any comments for the net.
Net Control, Whiskey 3, India Alpha Oscar. Name here is Jason. 5'9", full quality and all the way through here, Richmond. I'm just heading north mobile. Just north of downtown on 95.
Oh.
Evening, Randy, everyone else on the net. Or the HF net. I think that sounds great for those in the area. Unfortunately, I'm not located in the area most of the time. Just happen to be driving through every few weeks during the net, and I like to listen in. As far as the HOA, I definitely have the same sentiment against HOAs. I've lived in quite a few, some better, some worse, and hope the bill makes some progress this time. Although I will say I do have some reservations. I think that there is some limitations, depending on what kind of community you're in. I don't personally see the need for a full-on antenna farm if you're living in a townhouse on the back of your property, but some may disagree. And as long as things I think are installed in a tasteful way and done up with safety in mind, I think it's not a bad thing. So back to you, Net Control, W3IAO.
W3IAO, Kiddo 4KAD. Thank you for checking in, Jason. And you got a really, really good signal into the repeater from your mobile. We appreciate you checking in, and hopefully you'll be able to do so more often. And jump on this repeater anytime and pass it through. So thanks again for checking in. And that is the bottom of the list. So I will make another call for check-ins. Again, this is Kilo Oscar 4, Kilo Alpha Delta with the Metro Richmond ARES Net. Looking for check-ins. I need your call sign phonetically and your first name, and you can call in now.
That's it. November 3, Mike, Julie.
Mechanicsville, County of Hanover, Commonwealth of Virginia. DFQ into the repeater there, net control.
Is Kilo 4, Oscar, Whiskey, Uniform, Mike.
This is Whiskey 4, Mike, Foxtrot, Victor, Mark.
This is Whiskey 4, Romeo, Yankee, Quebec, Doc, EC, Nottoway County.
Wow.
All right, we picked up a couple more. N3MJC, W4 Mike Fox Victor, and W4RYQ. Also picked up KK4OWU, and I got you the first time and skipped right over you, Mike. I apologize for that. That
Whoops.
was my mistake. And you actually you must be on a different radio. You're sounding really, really good tonight. So I'm going to back up to you and get your comments. KK4OWU, over to you.
Yes, KK4OWU, Mike, here in Glen Allen, you are coming in loud and clear. Thank you for doing the net. As far as the Simplex net on HF, I'll be very much in favor of that. I do have equipment. I'm a technician, so I'll be restricted to 10 meters. As far as the HOA, I think that was demonstrated that with the hurricane we had in Helena, and if y'all were able to monitor the Mount Mitchell repeater on Volcanistify, that was the only communication available for hundreds of miles because all of the other systems were down, and it was incredible what the hams did down there. People were coming in on HF and transferred over to VHF. I think that's extremely important. I'm very in favor of that. As far as the HOAs, I'm sorry, but if you don't have anything obtrusive, I think it's can be in some instances, and you never know when they are, can be a good survival tool. But that's my thoughts. Secretaries, everybody, thanks for doing that. Y'all take care.
KK4OWU, KO4KAD. Thanks again, Mike, for checking in, and agree with you 100%. I think that hurricane is what really got a couple of these representatives to start pushing this bill back out there again, because you're absolutely correct. Ham radio was the only form of communication for quite a while down there, and I'm sure it saved countless lives and dollars and everything else that we consider as important. So thanks again for checking in. Let's see, next station, November 3, Mike Juliet Charlie. And Mike, I know I heard you in there earlier as well. You tried to do a relay for me, but then I did not hear you check in. So hopefully I did not skip over you. But it's your turn now, and I need your first name, location, you received signal report, and your comments for the net.
I think that was somebody else. It sounds like Mike.
Net control, this is November 3, Mike, Juliet, Charlie. The name is Mike, UDH, Borough of Hanover, the Borough of Mechanicsville, County of Hanover, Commonwealth of Virginia, DFQ into the repeater, as always, Randy. As far as the HF, I do not have HF capabilities. Got to get some more yelp under my belt to do that. But I would strongly also advise that probably the best way to do that on HF net would be 40 meters, because that's good on local propagation, lower sideband. As to the HOA bill, two comments. First of all, strangely enough, I kind of like our HOA. It's good to have a good clubhouse and a good, couple pools that the kids can go to. And, so in that respect, it's very good. As far as the antenna bill, HR 1094, I do think that is necessary, because, if as you guys said, if tastefully done, you can put, an antenna in your backyard, a couple of antennas in your backyard. I would love to get, a 2-meter, antenna, a nice base unit so that I could check in to, more nets around here. I can't do that right now on my HG, which is not company 86, as you know. Otherwise, yeah, I think the bill, if it passes, great. It would be wonderful. Nice job as usual, Randy. Thanks for taking the net. And you missed a good dinner tonight of center cut pork chops and fries and broccoli. I did a nice job on the cast iron skillet there with the center cut pork chops. They were a sight to behold and divine. All right, back to net control. Entry MJC, back to KO4K. Thank you, Randy.
N3 MJC KO4KAD. Well, I didn't know I was invited to dinner because, yeah, that sounds delicious. Thank you for checking in, Mike, and appreciate your comments, and we'll talk to you later. Next on the list is W4 Mike Fox Victor. Name, location, your received signal report, and your comments for the net.
Yeah, good evening, Randy. W4 MFV, Mark in Oakland, Allen. Signal report is good. Full fighting out here. As usual, your signal is nice and crisp. Sounds good. As for the HOA, I'm not in one technically. I think there was one for the neighborhood way back when it was built, but nobody enforces it. So kind of looking out there, but there certainly needs to be something out there. To me, they seem to be going a little overboard. You definitely, if folks want to live in an HOA, that's certainly their decision, but they should have some options, some guidelines if they want to put up an antenna or ham operator or whatever. So, on that, as far as the HF net, certainly would like to participate or help out with that. I've always been interested in like NVIS antenna propagation, so you might take a little bit different antenna put up for it, but certainly willing to try. With that, I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you, Randy. Doing a great job. W4 MFP, back to net control.
W4 MFV KO4KAD. Thank you, Mark, for your comments, and I knew you would be willing to help, and I'm going to keep that in mind. See if maybe we can put something together for the future. And, yeah, we'll kick some ideas around and see what we can get going on. Alright, that takes us down to W4RYQ. Name, location, received signal report, and your comments for the net.
KO4KAD in the group. This is W4RYQ coming from the swamps of the Tuckahoe Creek. Also known as Short Pump, part of it anyway. Let's see here. Reading the repeater, 5.9 or loud and clear. Comments on the HOA bit. Yeah, I'm not in an HOA. Although the neighboring HOAs have tried in the past to infringe their policies on me, and they lost. Let's see what else we have. As far as HF nets, we do have HF capabilities here. But as far as this net goes, with the HF, I would recommend 10 meter or 6 meter, due to those that are out there that are not licensed to go into the other bands, unless you're doing CW. So other than that, thank you, Randy. And we'll pass it back to you. This is W4YQ, back to net control, KO4KAD.
W4RYQ, KO4KAD. Thank you for checking in, Doc. And yeah, you're loud and clear. You always have a good signal. That's why you have been dubbed the voice of Short Pump. So thanks again, bud, and we'll talk to you later. All right, that wraps up our list, and we're about 10 minutes from the hour, so I'm going to read off these announcements here and start closing the net. So with that said, other local ARES or MCOM nets that are called during the week. On Monday nights at 1900 hours, the Powhatan ARES Net meets on the 147.315 repeater with a positive offset and a PL of 74.4. Also on Mondays, the Goochland County MCOM Net meets at 2000 hours on the 147.270 repeater with a positive offset and a PL of 203.5. Tuesday nights, Dinwiddie County ARES at 2000 hours on the 147.390 repeater, positive offset and PL of 74.4. Also on Tuesday nights, the Chesterfield ARES Net meets at 2100 hours. It's called by David, KN4LQN, on the 147.360 repeater. Positive offset and no tone required on that system. Also on Tuesdays, please check into the Chesterfield County ARES WindLink Net. For more information on that, go to chesterfieldares.us. Wednesdays, all day long, you can check into the WindLink Wednesday Net by sending a WindLink message to David, KN4LQN, at windlink.org. Wednesday nights, 2000 hours, the Tri-Cities MCOM Net meets on the 147.390 repeater with a positive offset and a PL of 74.4. This is Kilo Oscar for Kilo Alpha Delta with the Metro Richmond ARES Net. We had 15 check-ins this week, which is pretty good. And I appreciate everybody that checked in. I'll now proceed to close the net. I would like to thank all those stations who participated and the stations that stood by to give us time for this net. I would like to thank the MRA group for the use of their repeater. The Metro Richmond ARES Net is now closed, and this repeater is returned to regular amateur radio use. 7-3, everyone, from KO4 KAD.
Good job,
KO4 KAD, this is N2 JDH.
Into JDH, go ahead.
Yeah, I tried to check in 2 times, and I guess I didn't make it. Can you add me to the list too?
Yeah, Andre, I've got you on the payroll, so to speak. Yeah, I heard there was quite a bit of doubling tonight, so I apologize that I did not hear you, but I've definitely got you now, and you're welcome to give your comments if you heard the topic. If not, I will repeat it for you.
Well, no, I'm not going to add to it. But I did hear the topic. But yeah, I won't add to it. But thank you.
All right, Andre. Good to hear you. Thanks for checking in, and again, apologize for you not being able to get in earlier. Into JDH, KO4 KAD 7-3.
Are you going to come?
Alright, yeah, N2 JDH. That's the mic. Lockdown, Michael.
Understood, 4 till the 4th, 3-5 minutes.
This is KO4 KAD. I heard a station way down in the noise. If you want to try again, I'll be standing by. Nothing heard. KO4 KAD clear.
KO4 KAD, KD6 FFM, over.
Q4 ARX.
Yeah, Ron, go ahead. I got you.
This is KD6 FFM. I have that frequency on my radio, but I can't get into that frequency because when I key the mic, it says the display reads off. Jim Kilo Delta 4 Delta Mike India keyed this radio about 15 years ago, and I haven't been able to. I can't program the radio myself, but that frequency is on here, but I can't get to it because I key the mic, it reads awful.
Okay, yeah, well, it needs the right shift, of course, and the right tone. What kind of radio is it?
It's a Lenco. I can't remember. I'll try. Let me read this thing here. Six FFM is in an Echo, Kilo Juliet 160.
KJ 160.
Okay, roger that. I do not know anything about Eleco radios, unfortunately. I can do some checking around and see if maybe I can find a way to help you out with that. But you're probably going to need an outdoor antenna to get into that repeater anyways. I believe it's in Gum Spring, which is a pretty good little hike. But yeah, Lee in Fort HOK, he runs that net every Monday night, and I'm sure he'd be glad to have you get in there. So let me see what I can find out for you, and I will be in touch. Is your email on QRZ?
KD6FFM, I should be on there. Yeah, I always had trouble getting to it at Goochland anyway, so that'd be probably be a problem anyway. But I am on that special net, whatever it is.
All right, Ron. Well, yeah, let me see if I can come up with anything for you, and let me look here real quick on QRZ and just make sure your email is on there. Stand by a minute.
This is KFM standing by.
Hi, Ron. Are you on Silver Lace Port?
This is KD6FFM, that's affirmative, over.
Okay, roger that. It does not have your email listed on QRZ, so if you can give it to me over there, then I'll see what I can find out for you.
This is KD6FFM, roger that. My email is Emanon, Echo, Mike, Alpha, Oscar November 1956 at mail.com. That's Echo. Emanon 1956 at mail.com.
Alright, I copied Echo Mike Alpha 0 or Oscar November 1956. Is that a Roger?
KD6FFM, stand by. I'm going to write it back. It's hard to remember it. This is Delta Correction. This is Kilo Delta 6 Foxtrot Mike. It's Echo Mike Alpha November Oscar November 1956 at mail.com.
Okay, roger that. I copied it that time. I was missing one character. So I've got Echo Mike Alpha November Oscar November 1956. QSL?
This is KD6FFM, that's affirmative. Emanon 1956 at mail.com. This thing, no name spelled backwards, over.
Roger that. No name. Got it. All right, Mike. Shoot. Ron, I'll see what I can find out for you and shoot you an email. It'll be from KO4KAD@gmail.com. Good talking to you tonight. I'm going to clear the frequency. And this is KO4KAD saying 7-3 with KD6 Fox Mike.
This is KD6FFM. Have you ever heard from Kilo Juliet for Dr. Mike India? That's Jim, KD4DMI. I haven't heard from him in over 10 years. Is he still around? I see his license is still out of him.
I do not know that call sign, so I can't help you with that.
believe there was a station out there in the weeds with the last 3 as Yankee Tango Delta. You still there?
Much as you do, Mike. Ain't bad opportunity. I'll be gone tomorrow. But
Copy heard. Into JDHF.
enjoy while it lasts. You know, they're not killing me, so anyway. That's right. That's right. I'm glad to still see you out here. Just keep me proud. I hear you, buddy. Bringing something back? Most likely, if I had to guess, but I don't do it anymore. You take him all in the yard, you drop him off. These going all the way in the yard. Alright, I'm gonna try to get something to follow you up the hill. Alright, looks like we're gonna spin around the block. I got to spin around and ship it off. Alright, good. Thanks, Mike. Alright, y'all have a good one. I'll talk to you on the next trip. Alright, man.
Railroad.